we are talking about hiking, and I know Christina and I have done Pilot Mountain here in North Carolina.
I love
Brian,
that trail.
you love Pilot Mountain. I really want to check Hanging Rock off the list. Have you done that?
I have done that. Been in a couple of years since I've done it too, but it is a very popular spot.
You know that's the infamous picture of you know,
people are like, I'm hanging, I'm near death. You're really not, no.
Nice little landing right underneath you.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well, we know that when you are planning kind of a hiking trip or camping trip with the family, you always need to make sure you are prepared, because safety first, right?
Definitely.
And joining us live now, we'd like to welcome Dr. Chris Davis from Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist.
Yes, he's an emergency medicine physician, a wilderness medicine expert, and of course an experienced outdoorsman. Dr. Davis, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning.
You are so welcome. So first, let's talk about some of those common injuries that people can suffer when camping or hiking.
Absolutely. Well, you know, this time of year, as people are starting to get outside and enjoy our nice warm southern weather, we start to see a lot more injuries associated with this. You know, a lot of them are just minor sprains and strains, cuts and scrapes, that kind of thing. But that can range to some much more serious stuff, such as heat illness, overexertion, bites and stings, which can sometimes lead to serious allergic reactions, as well as a lot of injuries that you can see around the campfire, or, you know, burns from roasting marshmallows or cooking in your cooking breakfast around the campfire. All those things are stuff we start to see more commonly associated with people going on trips.
Yeah, doctor, you mentioned the heat-related illnesses. Specifically, we're talking about heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Now, I know the symptoms and how they present themselves can vary quite a bit, and the way you treat them is something that you need to pay attention to also. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. That's something that we really always want to focus on this time of year as the temperatures start rising, is what happens when people start to get too hot. And there's been, over the years, a lot of different stuff that's been, been pushed about what we should be looking for. And it's really pretty simple. So heat exhaustion is a condition where people start to basically just get overheated. We've all pretty much experienced this before. The typical symptoms of this are just feeling tired, nauseated, weak. Typically, these people will still have a normal mental status. So you'll be talking to them, they'll be acting normally. If people are experiencing heat exhaustion, what we want to do is just get them to the shade, get them out of their, out of this hot environment, get to drink some fluids and rest. And those people should get better on their own. When we really worry about people having what we call heat stroke, so we think strokes is like, something going wrong with someone's brain. Heat stroke is when you cross over from just being a little bit overheated and having heat exhaustion to essentially your brain is not working correctly anymore because it's too hot. These people may have altered mental status, they may be confused, they may be losing consciousness, they may have slurred speech, or having seizures. So a lot of things that we may think of that this person looks like they're having a stroke and they're too hot, really that is what we consider heat stroke. The difference between that and heat exhaustion is these people are having a serious emergency and need to be rapidly cooled down. So this would be immersing someone in an ice bath, dousing them in cold water, and notifying emergency services immediately, because the difference between heat exhaustion, people that are just a little bit overheated can cool themselves off, just rest in the shade. But if someone has altered mental status or any signs that something's going wrong with their brain, plus being too hot, they need to be rapidly cooled down with immersion in cold water or doused in cold water.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Davis. That's some very important information. And as we all know, accidents do happen with some of those injuries. And sometimes you can even need a tourniquet to help control bleeding. Can you show us how you can properly use one in the case of an emergency?
Absolutely. So, bleeding is one of the leading causes of preventable death and trauma. And over the last few years, we've been making a big effort to try to educate people on the appropriate use of tourniquets, which can be life-saving. And what a tourniquet is, it's a tight constricting band that cuts off all the blood flow past it to an injury. So one of the devices that I like to use is this called a SWAT T, or it's a stretchy elastic tourniquet. There's couple of different types available on the market, but this one is nice for my wilderness kits. It's basically what you'll do is if someone has a bleeding arm or leg that seems to be like spurting out or causing life-threatening bleeding, we'll want to wrap the tourniquet high on their arm and then pull it really tight until we have the squirting or spurting blood stopping past it. There's a lot of different kinds of tourniquets available, but commercially available tourniquets are recommended for the best ability to control bleeding.
Okay.
And quickly, Dr. Davis, our last question. Your team helps train EMS and rescue agencies all across our state. How does that training specifically help rescuers better reach and treat people who are in an emergency?
Absolutely. It's one of the things as a teaching hospital and academic health system with Wake Forest Atrium Health. We provide a lot of medical direction, training, and oversight to our wilderness search and rescue teams, mountain rescue teams, and EMS agencies locally. Some of the stuff that we work with them is essentially how to provide really high quality medical care far outside the walls of our hospital. And we do this through specialized training using equipment, techniques, and designing systems that will be able to deliver care even under tough environments like rock climbers over the side of a cliff, folks that are stuck in floodwaters or in whitewater rivers, as well as hunters that are have fallen from tree stands, or just anyone that's a long way away from the hospital and may need to be taken care of much longer than we would typically see with folks that are easily accessible to ambulances.
Dr. Davis, thank you so much for the information. We appreciate your time. And folks at home, we will have all of these tips posted online. You can visit triadcw.com.